After a big Knicks victory in Cleveland, we are still holding our breath, thinking about Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson sustained an injury 35 seconds into tonight's game. We'll go over everything.
Hit that intro.
They're playing basketball. Basketball.
You're listening to the Knicks Nation podcast, where we've got all your Knicks needs covered.
Puts up a three. Bang! Bang! He ties the game!
Now, live from the city that never sleeps, here are your hosts, Anthony and Chris.
What is going on, Knicks Nation? We are back for another episode of the Knicks Nation podcast, episode 38, tonight on this Sunday evening, March 3rd. Chris, literally 35 seconds into tonight's game, we were all holding our breath. Jalen Brunson goes down. We still do not know the severity of it. We will keep you guys updated throughout the episode. We will try to walk you guys through it. But Chris, first and foremost, how are you this Sunday evening?
Wish I could say great, but, with this Jalen Brunson, going down, like you said, 35 seconds into the beginning of this game against Cleveland, basically what every Knicks fan out there didn't want to happen, was hoping didn't happen. And man, I'm not feeling great. I mean, look, Knicks got a gritty win out in Cleveland, big win for sure, but I can't help but feel a little bit down at the moment, man. How about you? How are you feeling?
Yeah, look, big win in Cleveland, man. Boys stepped up. Josh Hart stepped up. McBride stepped up in Brunson's place. Everyone stepped up. Hartenstein looked like his old self. Precious stepped up. Got some great Julius Randle news, some great OG Anunoby news. I wasn't even settled in my chair to watch this game. Normally, I tweet out the videos on the Knicks Nation page. So as soon as that happened, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like S550 says in the chat, bittersweet with Jalen though. Look, 35 seconds into tonight's game, Jalen Brunson seems like he bumps knees before he attempts his shot, goes up for the jump shot. And then after that, those non-contact injuries, but later on we, saw a video that he actually bumped his knee. I actually got some footage here from a Twitter doctor, stating that it is not that, it's not severe as we are thinking, but even has, I'll play for you guys in a second. But yeah, literally my soul left my body. What happened? My soul left my body when it happened. I'm not going to let you. I was numb for a while. At first I was like, I don't even care about this game. This was in the moment. At first I was watching the game and the guys were playing well and I'm happy, but I'm dead on the other side of my body. Right? I'm I don't even care about this game. But throughout the game, throughout the process, we got some good news. So, fingers crossed, right, Chris? I mean, how was your reaction during all of it? It was crazy, man. I'm still hoping for the best at this moment.
Yeah. Like you said, I'm hoping for the best, man. I'm hoping for the best because, even when the news came out that, sore left knee, questionable to return, I'm like, nah, I'm not buying it, man.
Yeah.
Not buying it. We've seen this before with the Knicks. They withhold information, and then next thing you know, something worse comes out. But yeah, my initial reaction was, I turned around 1 second after the tip, basically, and then looked back, and Brunson's on the floor. I'm like, no. And I watch, and it looks like a non-contact injury.
Yeah.
So, holding my breath, waiting for the news, and then they say sore left knee, which made me even more nervous because I'm like, no way. No way in hell it's just a sore left knee. But with all the news coming out lately and hopefully optimistic outlook on it, I feel a little bit better. But, man, we cannot sustain a Jalen Brunson being gone for too long. Not at this point in the season with the way things have been going.
We can't. Look, I'm about to play the clip for you guys so, we can walk through it together about the doctor clip. But yeah, my soul left my body there for a quick second. And we're just hoping for the best at this moment because, that's all we can do. We're getting updates on the spot in the moment as time is going on. But here is a Twitter doctor, which I found interesting. Somebody said in the chat, a doc said it was a nerve injury. So that kind of gave me a little bit of hope that Brunson was going to be okay. So let me just share my screen and you guys can hear it for yourself.
But I do think there was actually contact from the Cavaliers player onto the outside of Brunson's knee. But what I want to start off with is if we back up the sequence of him walking off the court, pay attention to what happens with his left ankle. You see how he kind of trips and stumbles kind of right there over his ankle. What he's doing here, it almost looks to me like somebody who's got a temporary foot drop, right? If anybody of you watch mixed martial arts, when somebody has those low calf kicks that injure that perineal nerve or stun that perineal nerve that picks your ankle up, the way he's walking right there, he trips over his foot because of an inability to dorsiflex or pick up his ankle. And so that stumble as he's coming off the court, to me, confirms kind of my number one suspicion about just a contact blow to the outside of the knee, because that's where that nerve sits and could certainly have been stunned, almost like hitting your funny bone as you're walking off the court. We can see here just this kind of together.
All right, so he says it's almost like hitting your funny bone, because right prior to Jalen Brunson's shot, he banged knees. What I get, who was it, Chris? Okoro? He banged knees with, I think it was Okoro. You guys can correct me in the chat. And he was a little bit hobbling when he was coming off the curl, and then he goes up for the shot, and then as we pause it, you can see in the air right away, he's grabbing at his knee. That's what made my heart drop. But as you can, as this doctor just explained, it could be like a funny bone situation. He was questionable with knee soreness, and then the Knicks ruled him out. But that was from Brian Sutter. He's a MD doctor, sports medicine doctor, injury education. So Chris, when you hear him explain that, that sort of gives me a little bit of hope. So I'm liking what he said.
Yeah, and I didn't even notice the part where Brunson actually, couldn't lift up his ankle there and stumbled over it. So that's, it looks a lot worse than what basically this doctor is reporting, right? So that is good news. Is hopefully, let's just hope that's what it is, and then Brunson can get out there as soon as possible, man.
Hit some of these comments in the chat. Appreciate every single one of you. Tyler, what's going on? S550, always appreciate you in here supporting. Knicks Live says he got knee soreness. I thought it was worse. Yeah, man. Gian says, the doc said it was a nerve injury. Yeah, like we just played the doc injury. We'll replay it in about 20 minutes. We'll keep you guys updated on the spot. This is, on an ongoing situation at this moment. Joel says OG coming back in a week. That's what, made this whole situation kind of nerve-wracking, because we got such great news from OG Anunoby and Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson as well. But fingers crossed. Coach Sierra in the chat says salute you always, Coach Sierra. Appreciate you in the chat. S550 says, I'm proud of McBride for stepping up and Hart hustling, getting another triple-double. Also, Bogey was doing what we traded him for. Guy stepped up tonight, man. Shout out to Mally's McBride. Shout out to Josh Hart. I mean, for the better part of a few weeks, Chris, Josh Hart he's played better than what we have required him last season. I think personally, he's played better. And tonight, career high in rebounds, I think. Another triple-double, his third of the season. Shout out to the guys, man.
Yeah, shout out to Josh Hart, man. He was a plus 16 tonight. 13 points, 19 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He was everywhere. And we needed it. We needed it tonight, down Brunson. And this was a team effort all around, man. This was, one of the better team performances that we've had in some time. You had Precious playing well. Hart, like you said, looking more like himself, which, that makes me happy. And then, of course, you got DiVincenzo, Hart, and Bogey doing their thing, looking better. Look, great win. Again, if it wasn't for the Brunson news, I would be
It's a hell of a win. It's a hell of a win. Cleveland's in front of us.
A big win.
And I think the Knicks are tweeted, they're 11-2 in their last, or 9-2 in their last 12 games, 11 games against Cleveland. Heck of a win. Even Dante, man, tonight. 28 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 threes, 11-22 from the field. I have on my Brunson jersey right now. I put it on. I was like, I got to put on my Jalen Brunson jersey. I got to put it on. I got to go in the closet. I got to put it on. We got to just surround him right now with good juju. Exactly. We all have to hope for the best. And Jalen Brunson, please be good. I know he's a warrior. I know if it's just a bruise, like they said, because remember, Knicks are very vague with these injuries. Let's not beat around the bush here. Knicks are very vague when it comes to these injuries. Started with Mitchell Robinson. Then it was OG Anunoby. Then Julius Randle. They weren't too vague. They were saying he would get reevaluated. They've been kind of, honest about the Randle front. But what they're calling it right now is a sore left knee. So we just have to hope for the best. But tonight was a huge win for the New York Knicks. And Tom Thibodeau has just spoken. Jalen Brunson has a knee contusions. X-rays were negative. So,
Okay.
X-rays were negative. But the next steps are the MRI machine. So we just have to hope that those results, we won't probably get them until tomorrow, but knee contusion, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take a knee contusion over, something a lot worse. And hopefully the MRI, if that's the next step, hopefully that comes back clean. And, maybe Brunson misses a game or two max, because look, we can't afford to lose Brunson, man. We already got OG out, Mitch is out, Julius is out. Look, Knicks played a hell of a game tonight in Cleveland. Gritty game, won the game at that. But, we need Brunson out there. We just need him out there.
Yeah. Peace. What's going on? Peace to the host in the chat. What's the mathematics on Brunson's knee ankle, fellas? Look, if it's a knee bruise, a couple of games, maybe a week, if that. If it's just a knee bruise, I'm sure he'll get an MRI tonight or tomorrow. And what they're calling it right now is a knee contusion. So that's Cameron says this team pisses me off. Why, Cameron? Talk to us, Cameron. We're just coming off a huge win in Cleveland without our 1A Jalen Brunson after a heart attack that he gave us in the first quarter. Why does this team piss you off so much, Cameron? But other than that, come back to us, Cameron, in the chat. Other than that, Chris, great news on the OG Anunoby front. He was actually at the game. He was on the bench. Julius Randle was at the game. They are traveling with the team. OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson are traveling with the team. He's close, man. Just started the good contact. Randall's looking like he's doing contact as well. Yep. So we're in March now, and those guys this is why tonight's game was so important. Every game matters. The Eastern Conference is literally like a bunch of teams bunched in together. And, which is why, we're coming off a bad stretch, which is why we need the guys back. But great news on the Anunoby front, Chris. Got to get him back.
We need those guys back for obvious reasons. OG, I can't wait for OG Anunoby to be back. We're talking about someone when he was available, Knicks had the best defense in the league. And when not, we're one of the worst. So I'll welcome OG Anunoby with open arms. Hopefully he gets back soon. And same with Julius, man. We need Julius Randle out there. I don't know what type of Julius Randle we're going to get, but it's really good to hear he's starting to get some contact. I don't think it's player contact just yet, but nonetheless, it's good that he's progressing towards returning.
They're close. It's looking like Anunoby will come back before Randle. He's taking on contact before Julius Randle. So, look, man, if what they're saying is true and he has a knee contusion, X-rays were negative. Next thing is the MRI machine. If those come back all good, hallelujah, man. Hallelujah. So many emotions were going through my head. Like, why us? Are we cursed? Like this and that. Like this has been it has been such a great January with the team fully healthy, whole. We can literally beat anybody. And then it's just, first it was Randle, then Anunoby. And now, we got some good news on Brunson, and we just have to, continue to hope for the best on that. But yeah, Chris, it was just, I went through a lot of emotions in that first quarter. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm sure everyone did as too. It was crazy.
No, for sure, man. I did the same thing. I reflected on the entire season, and I was just like, man, like if Jalen Brunson is, I don't want to think of what this team is going to look like without Jalen Brunson at this point for an extended period of time. Yeah. That's why if it's a knee contusion, look, I'll take it. maybe save JB from himself, sit him a couple games, let that knee get as good as possible before you run him out there again. But yeah, man, like everybody else out there, I was holding my breath, and it just sucked, man, in the moment.
Yeah.
Total downer for sure.
CEO says if JB is out longer than a month, just ditch the season. Hope it's just a hyper extension. Yeah, it's just right now knee contusion. That's what they're calling it. X-rays negative. But yeah, going through the emotions as well. I'm sure. Like, look, we've been through a lot, man. S550 says when Hart hit that big three and messed with Donovan on the bench, that was hilarious. Yeah, in the game, Josh Hart hit a big corner three. He actually did like a sort of like a James Harden step back in the corner. Turned around. Donovan Mitchell's right there. Donovan Mitchell didn't play tonight. Messed with his chain a little bit. The Knicks own the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is why I keep telling like every Cavs fan and, you know, try to tell Knicks fans, like, they're in front of us right now, but they will come back to earth. They've been kind of coming back to earth these last couple of weeks. So, which is why the standings right now are just so important. But yeah.
Yeah. And this game was also very huge for the Knicks because one, we got the season series from the Cavs, but also, you know, for those same reasons, like this is a team that we're probably going to meet in the playoffs, you know, and we just seem to, you know, we just go to another level when we play this Cavs team.
Yeah.
And if we would have lost this game, we had the potential of falling into the play-in seeding. That's how close things are in the standings. We would have lost this game. We would have basically dropped into the play-ins. So, great win by the Knicks. Gritty win by the Knicks.
Chris, looking at these standings now, Knicks are 36-25. The Heat are rolling, and the Heat are in the play-in tournament. Like you said, we're still a half a game ahead of Philadelphia. We're a game ahead of Orlando Magic. We're only, 2.5 behind Cleveland. We're 3-4 games in the loss column. So, look, this was a big game. You know, the Knicks were on the verge of falling back in that play-in tournament, and there's only, 24 games left, 23 games left in the season. So, yeah, this was the East is bunched together. So, a couple of games losing streaks, you can sway into that play-in tournament, which we don't want. Build up a few games, winning. I called before the game. I said the Knicks are about to go on a 5-game winning streak. This was one of them.
Still counts, right? It still counts.
Yeah, this was a big game for the Knicks. If the season ended today, the Knicks would be matched up against the Philadelphia 76ers in a playoff series. But that's going to change daily. You know, yesterday it was the Heat. Today it's the 76ers. So that's going to change daily. And like I said, we got great news on the Anunoby front. We got great news on the Randall front. And it's looking like we just got great news on the Brunson front. So fingers crossed on all three of them. So all three of them coming back. And we'll talk about the struggles with Burks. We'll talk about the signing, the Shake Milton signing that the Knicks signed before the it's not official yet. He just has to clear waivers, and then we'll sign him. We'll talk about all that. We'll get into all of that today. But big win, man. Big stress reliever after hearing the Brunson news, and a huge win for the Knicks.
For sure. Yeah. And I was looking forward to coming onto this pod and being, you know, not having to say once we get healthy, but boom, right away, Jalen Brunson goes down, and here we are talking about, you know, the Knicks trying to get healthy again.
Yeah. Joel says, I want to say we are deadly, but we're never healthy. We just got to get healthy, man. Broken record. Been saying it for weeks. Every single one of our last podcasts, it seems like an update. It seems like a great update. You know, no setbacks. Everything's been positive. Now all we need to do is get the guys back at this point. So, Joel, I feel your pain. You know, I'm just trying to, you know, ease your nerves a little bit, you know, because we'll get there. I feel like this season is not lost. We'll get the guys back, and we will get there.
Yeah. I still have confidence in this team, man, you know, with the current news on Brunson, you know, once OG Randall get back, you know, I still think we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Barring any crazy injury down the line, you know, I think we're still going to be rolling soon.
Lynette says, happy and sad at the same time. Brunson's teammates played for their champion. Everyone stepped up tonight. What's going on, Lynette? Dame in the chat. Huge Knicks win. Always appreciate you in here, Dame. What's going on, man? I hope all is well with you. S550 says, I feel confident on a W against the Hawks on Tuesday. Look, we got some winnable games coming up in Madison Square Garden, but got to take care of business, man. We had some winnable games prior. Just got to take care of business at home, especially. And I feel like this stretch right here is so important because then we hit a West Coast trip, our last West Coast trip of the season. So these next games, I'll pull up the schedule in a second, but these next games for the New York Knicks are huge. When I tell you they're huge, they're huge. John says Brunson has been diagnosed with a left knee contusion. Steph Bondi of the New York Post reports Brunson has been diagnosed with a left contusion by X-rays. Yeah, X-rays are negative. Just got to wait for those MRI results. Fingers are crossed, and we shall see what the MRI results. I'm sure he'll get an MRI result tonight or tomorrow. Chris,
it's probably getting it right now as we speak.
Yeah.
Who knows? Again, I hope everything comes back clean. We need Brunson out there, but like Lynette said, the team came out there. They didn't mope around or anything. They took it to the Cavs, and they played. I feel like they did play for Brunson. They got motivated. Said, you know what? Let's win this for our guy, Jalen Brunson. That's right, number 11, Jalen Brunson. And hopefully we get Brunson back soon, man. I need
Jalen. Are you okay?
I need that.
Don't worry, what's coming your way. Jalen, are you okay? Oh, he's saying he's good. He's not in his head that he's good. So he's good. We know Jalen. He probably got an ice pack on his knee. He's not in his head saying he's good. So he is good. Got a poll in the YouTube chat. Where will the Knicks finish in the Eastern Conference? 1 through 3, 29%, 45 votes so far. 4 through 6, 60%. 7 through 10, 11%. Chris, where do you think the Knicks will finish in the Eastern Conference with the Brunson news, the Anunoby news, the Randall news, the stretch coming up? And I'll get my take on that.
I think we'll be around the 4-5 seed still.
Yeah.
I think that's where we will be. That's my prediction.
Yeah, so do I. I think it's 4 through 6. I really want that 3rd seed. I really do. But, this past week, I kind of was like, I don't really care about seeding. I just want to finish 1 through 6. And as long as, we were talking about 3rd seed last week. I really want the 3rd seed. But at this moment, I just want to just get back on the court, man. Just get healthy. Because without one of those guys, without Brunson, without Anunoby, or without a Randall, where are we really going without one of them? Just get healthy, please. And we're on the brink. We're on the brink. We're right there. We're at to put this in a football perspective, I think the Knicks, in terms of injuries, they're at the 10-yard line. They're right there in the red zone. They're right there. And we just got to just get in the end zone, get everyone healthy. Hopefully they can get back. But they will. They will.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much kind of my thinking at this point, too. It's not so much, seeding per se. I'm not worried about seeding. It's just, can we get our guys back healthy? And what is it going to look like for a lot of these guys once they get back, right? But if you're telling me we could still, get the playoffs and get OG, Randall, and Brunson back, I like our chances no matter what seed we're in,
Yeah.
Let's get there, though.
This is why tonight was such a big win for the New York Knicks. You win in Cleveland, 107-98. Dante DiVincenzo, before he hit a bunch of threes, I had people on X saying, why does Dante DiVincenzo chuck so much? He reminds me of J.R. Smith. I even have a stat that Dante's now attempted, 50-plus threes in 4+ games. But my response to that person would just be he's awesome. He's amazing. He's hitting them. So he's one of our best shooters. Shoot the ball. Shoot the ball, right?
Yeah.
Shoot the ball.
Shout out to Dante. Got him on my fantasy squad, and I'll take those threes all day.
Shout out to your fantasy squad. But yeah, this is why I said I think a 5-game winning streak is on the horizon. At Cleveland, that's 1. Versus Atlanta, no Trae Young. Still going to be tough. On Tuesday, versus Atlanta. Versus Orlando, got to beat Orlando, man. Orlando Magic have had our number all season long. Got to beat Orlando. And this is when, Chris, we've been saying we think OG Anunoby is going to come back. Versus Orlando or versus Philly or one of these Philadelphia games. If they're calling it mid-March, or maybe he's back for the West Coast trip. What do you think?
I'm hoping it's against Orlando, man. I'm really hoping it's against Orlando. Or it could be against Philly, like you said. But man, would it be nice to have him for the Orlando game, man? Because Orlando's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough game now, if especially if we don't have a Brunson.
And don't forget, like these tiebreakers. I mean, we lost a tiebreaker to Orlando, but you know, we're starting to get to a point of the season where these wins become more important, especially against the Eastern Conference because of how bunched up the Eastern Conference is. But yeah, Cam, what's going on? Salute to you as well. We got another one, man. Brunson Burner went down immediately, and the team didn't falter. Great work all around. Big shout out to Josh Hart, another triple-double, his third of the season. John, what's going on? Hart played an awesome game. Yeah, man. Awesome. Look, I made a video about Josh Hart. If you guys haven't checked that out, please do. But Josh Hart has played awesome. He's played simply incredible. He's playing over, 40 minutes in, like, every single game his last couple of 3 weeks now. And one thing I love about Josh Hart is that during this stretch is that his three-point shot has vastly improved. You know, he's more confident in shooting that three, and it's showing on the court. Because before he was throwing up bricks, you know, brick city with Josh Hart, but now he's starting to become more confident shooting it with ease, and that's what I love about Hart.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing that I had noticed too. I mean, with Josh Hart, it drove me insane whenever he would get the ball wide open at the three-point line and he just pump fake, you know, and look to dish it off. But now you're seeing Josh Hart, he's pulling up. We even saw it tonight against Cleveland where he actually took a heat check three well beyond the three-point line. You know, didn't make it, but I love that. I love to see that from Josh Hart, being aggressive, taking the shots when he should.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's opening up so much for him, you know, because now teams, they got to honor that. Whether you make it or not, the fact that you're going to shoot that ball and they know you're not going to hesitate, that changes everything. At least I feel so. So shout out to Josh Hart, man. I mean, he's taken the offense to a whole nother level. And his defense, it hasn't slipped. It's gotten better, if anything. So I love to see it, man. I love it.
Nova kids, man. Josh Hart, DiVincenzo has played absolutely incredible. And look, Hartenstein, prior to tonight's game, was looking like he even said it after last game that he's not 100% healthy. So, but tonight he actually looked like his normal self, blocking shots, hitting his little floaters at the rim, rebounding the rock. So it's good to see Hartenstein start to get in the flow of things, starting to get in the groove. And Bogdanović hit some big shots too. Hit some big shots. He hit a big 3 in the fourth tonight, and then he hit that and one. So yeah, big nights out of them. And Alec Burks, Chris. I mean, what are you concerned with Burks?
I don't want to say I'm concerned with Burks. He just doesn't look. He just doesn't look like he's the same player that we had when he was running, you know, the point guard spot for us, right? It doesn't look like he has just I don't know how to pinpoint it, but to me, I think he'd be better off not running the point, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe that's why we're gonna get Shake Milton in here, right? Who knows? And we'll touch on that in a bit, but he still doesn't look good, but he did get a couple buckets, you know. But one thing I did notice, he didn't play at all the first quarter, you know. Even with Brunson leaving the game early, it was mostly Miles McBride who played phenomenal tonight.
Yeah.
But, you know, we didn't see Burks till the second. So I think Tibbs is seeing that Burks is struggling a bit and, you know, isn't running him out there as much as he was earlier on.
You think I think the Shake Milton signing, well, the possible signing he's got to sign when he clears waivers. I think that, look, Ian Belgi said that he's probably not going to crack the rotation. Maybe it's just more depth for the New York Knicks. And look, you can't have enough bodies on the court or on the bench. But do you think that eventually Shake will take Burks' little 10 to 15 minute spurts here? I don't know. I don't think so.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Shake can get buckets too, but you know, who knows what he has left at this point. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say that I've been following his game. I saw a little bit of him back when he was with the Sixers. You know, that's playing against the Knicks. It seemed like he always played well against us.
Yeah.
So, but I'd hate to think, you're bringing in a player, you're down multiple players, and you're bringing in somebody not to play them per se. I don't know what's the logic in that.
He's all right. I don't think he'll play. But if Burks continues to struggle, then that's something that we have to look at. Dame says, looks like Dante turned a corner tonight with his 3-point shooting. He was more calm and relaxed. Anyone else notice that? Dante, he's been kind of struggling with his shot these last few games. He was off with his 3. And tonight, when he was running a fast break, then he pulled up from 3. And I was like, wait. And then he hit it. And then I was like, oh, okay. He's confident. It's going in. They love Cleveland. Shout out to Cleveland.
Dante's a flamethrower, man. Like, he started off this game really well. Then second quarter kind of cooled off a bit. And then third quarter, he erupted again. I think he was at 1.5 or 6 from 3. So he's definitely, figuring out that shooting, that 3-point shot again. And he was slumping a little bit. It was more like on, off, on, off, on, off. But, hey, when Dante's on, man, and he's pulling up from 3 like that, watch out, man.
Fred Katz said it the best. The Knicks had Jalen Brunson for 47 seconds. They didn't have Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, or OG Anunoby, and they just won in Cleveland. One of their gutsiest wins of the season. Tonight was one of them wins where it was gutsy, man. Like Fred said, it was gutsy. And look, we stepped up, man. Guys stepped up because, like I said earlier, the schedule it's not tough, but it's not easy at the same time. And every single game matters, especially, the West Coast trip coming up. But Chris, in January, this is why these guys matter so much. In January, with OG and Julius, the Knicks were ranked number 1 defensively. In February, they were 21st. So it took a huge slide, but I like what I saw tonight, though. I like what I saw tonight, even though what's his name on Cleveland is always that one guy on the other team.
Yeah.
Right?
I was just going to say that. There's always that one guy that you don't know too much about that
What's
just
his name?
comes out. Merrill. Sam Merrill, I believe it is. Something like that.
Sam Merrill. Always that one, especially versus us, right? It always seems like there's one shooter, one guy on the opponent's team that can't miss a 3, and we're like, who is this guy? I had to look him up. I'm not going to lie to you. I had to look him up.
You were like, oh, I got to add this guy on my fantasy team. Nah, man. There's always this one guy that comes out there and Ray Allen primetime reincarnated. So I don't know what it is, but he dropped 20 on us. I think he dropped 20 on us. All 3-point shots, off the dribble, off handoffs. It didn't matter. The guy was unconscious.
21 points, 7 of 13 from 3. Yeah, all 3-point shots, like Chris said. But look, Precious stepped up. I'm looking at the box score now. Hartenstein, 8 rebounds, 8 assists for Isaiah Hartenstein versus Cleveland. Look, he's starting to. That's 23 minutes. He's still his minutes are still limited, but I love I love what I saw tonight. And look, Josh Hart, man, 45 minutes. What did he play last game? 47 minutes.
Yep, I think he took like a 40-second break that game.
Wow,
it's insane.
So hit some of these comments. Evan says, what's going on, Evan? Shake is a great backup. CM says, yes, keep Precious at all costs. John says he's a baby. Mason. Precious was doing work against Evan Mobley, too, tonight.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Precious. Okay.
Yeah. Mobley doesn't seem to show up when he plays the Knicks, man. He got into some early foul trouble there. And honestly, I thought that was going to be the biggest factor in this game. It was going to be Jared Allen and Mobley, right?
Yeah.
And Jared Allen did his thing, but Mobley, he had a tough night.
Michael, what's going on in the chat? What's going on? Hello, fellow Knicks fans. Great win tonight. What's going on, Michael? Hope all is well with you. Yeah, amazing win for the New York Knicks. We came out here kind of, hoping that we would get good Jalen Brunson's news, and we did get it. Knee soreness, knee bruise, x-rays negative. He will go for an MRI probably tonight, and tomorrow we probably will get some more information regarding his injury. But for a second there, open up the pod saying that my heart dropped. I was rethinking everything. The game didn't matter in the moment, But then as the podcast is going on, Chris, I feel a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do. I feel like we got some good juju. We got some good news as well.
Some Knicks therapy right here, right?
Yeah.
From you, me, and everybody else.
As I'm talking it out, as we heard the doctor explain it, it seems like it's let me play it. No, I don't want to play it again. I probably want to get shout out to the doctor that played it. If you guys haven't checked it out, we played it early on in the pod, but he essentially said it was kind of like hitting your funny bone, but on your knee, because Brunson hit his knee when he curled around. Then it looked bad in the moment. It looked bad, but
yeah,
we got some good news on that front.
Yep. And right now, Jalen Brunson, like was mentioned earlier, Jalen Brunson is listed as day-to-day. So, hopefully that's even more so showing that it's not anything too crazy.
Hart is shooting. Johnson said Hart is shooting 3 better than Bog. Was it Bog? I think he's trying to say Bogdanovich. Hart he's been shooting it better. I'm looking at his 2 of 5. His last 6 games. 2 of 5 from 3. 2 of 5. 3 of 5. 1 of 4. 3 of 9. 3 of 6. And he's played 40 plus minutes in his last 6 games. 7 out of the last 8 games, Josh Hart has played 40 plus minutes. So he's playing a lot. But as the reinforcements start to come back, that should obviously he gets relegated back to the bench. OG takes that spot. Hart can, go back to his regular 30 minutes a game, 30 or 35 minutes a game, and then we shall go on from there. But yeah, he's playing a lot. S550 says now it's time to separate ourselves from the rest of the standings. Agree. Pulled up the standings earlier. It's tough, man. It's going to be a heck of a run from now until mid-April. It is going to be the Heat are playing well, and the Heat are playing well, and the Pacers, right? No, the Pacers are 5-5 in their last 10. The Orlando's 8-2 in their last 10.
Yeah, so Orlando's playing really good.
Yeah. So look, right now we're all alone in 4th. It seems like we've been all alone in 4th for about the better part of a week now. But we are a game and a half ahead of the Miami Heat for that 7-10 seed. What we don't want is that 7-10 play-in tournament. Don't want that. Got a poll in the chat. 61 votes so far. Where will the Knicks finish in the East? 1 through 3 is at 31%. 4 through 6 is at 59%. 7 through 10 is at 10%. It's looking like everyone is in agreement that we will finish in that 4 to 6 mark. What you don't want, Chris, is that 7 to 10, because then you play around with the 1-game elimination and stuff like that.
Yeah. So. Yeah. That would be worst case scenario, man. But
yeah,
I feel pretty good, man. Again, with all the news coming out about these injuries, with Brunson feeling a lot better. I think that 4 to 5 spot, I'd be surprised if we go to 6, to be honest. But 4 to 5, I think that's where we're gonna land.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I said, last couple of weeks, I've been wanting that 3rd seed, but I think somebody in the chat said we just got to get healthy. We worry about the standings. When we, get everyone healthy, then we can go on a run. Anunoby said he can't wait to come back so we can go on another run. Randle has been working constantly. Traveling with the team is huge, man, especially with Julius Randle. Like, we don't know this, if he's 100%. Shoulder injuries are tricky. But knowing Julius Randle, he is going to want to come back. He will come back. And I think we'll get Anunoby before Randle. And look, barring any, changes on the Brunson injury front, Anunoby will come back, and then Randle, and then Mitch is kind of lurking there. It's January was the dream. Like, it felt like a dream. And then February was like what just happened? And then now we're starting to get back to, the roots of how January was, and we just got to get healthy. That's all it is, that we're getting there. Yeah,
for sure. And I mean, look, like all these injuries going on, and as usual, a lot of people are chirping that, hey, is this Tibbs' fault? Is this Tom Thibodeau's fault? He's just burning out the guys. Look what he did to Derrick Rose. Look what happened to, insert Bulls player here. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think Tibbs is at fault.
That's one of the first tweets I've saw from somebody as soon as Brunson went down. This is Thibs' fault, because this is what happens when you play everyone 40 plus minutes a game. And Brunson really hasn't been, like, his minutes have been, since he came back from that 1 game absence, his minutes have been kind of down, like not down, but less than 40. So I don't agree with it, man. Look, I don't agree with it. There's players in I'm going to pull up the minutes per game, and I don't even think the Knicks have a player in the top 5 in minutes per game. I think Tom Thibodeau has gotten like he has a bad stigma around him, a bad rep about the minutes. And you're going to always have the minute police. That's always going to get brought up. Even with OG and Anunoby, it was brought up. Randall was brought up. Randall was a freak injury. And Anunoby, you know, you can say it kind of gradually got worse. Should he have played through it? Probably not. But do I think it's a minutes thing? No. And I think Tom Thibodeau gets a bad rap at it. Does he play guys in long stretches sometimes, like longer than he would probably want to? Yeah, like last game, he said he should have played Burks more, but I don't agree with it. Do you?
No, I don't because like you mentioned, you nailed it. This can't be Tibbs' fault because one, Julius Randle goes down, right? Shoulder. It was a freak shoulder injury, dislocation. You know, I don't think that's something that you can say, oh, Tibbs had him out there too long, whatever the case may be. And Anunoby with the elbow spur, that's something that just happens. You can't control that. You can't control whether that's going to, you know, happen or not. He could have had it for some time and it just got to a point where it needed to be addressed.
Yeah.
So again, that's not something I think you can blame Tibbs for. And Brunson, look, this happened at the beginning of the game, 40 seconds into this game. Again, another freak type of injury where, you know, he bangs knees, continues to go, and then boom, he's out.
Yeah.
So, like you said, I think Tibbs just has that bad stigma stuck on him, you know, from the past, you know, what happened with Derrick Rose, whether you want to say that was his fault or not, you know, running Rose out there. All we know is Tibbs wants to win, right? Tibbs is out there. He wants to win. And the way he believes you win is with your best players out there. But at the same time, nah, I don't think so. I don't think Tibbs is at fault for this. I don't think it's, you know, I don't think he has the final say, especially with Brunson. You know, I'm sure if Brunson was to be like, I'm tired, which he probably never would say it, but, you know, I'm sure Tibbs would listen.
Agree, man. So it seems like we're on the same page. If those of you in the chat, if you think Tibbs is playing the guys heavy minutes, I have pulled up, you know, you can chime in as well. I saw a lot of it on Twitter and on X and a lot of discourse about that. But here are the season leaders in minutes per game. Okay, Jalen Brunson is number 9 at 36.1 minutes per game. DeMar DeRozan, number 1, 37.8. Luka Doncic, number 2, 37 minutes a game. Maxey, 37 minutes a game. Bridges, in Charlotte, 37. Durant, 37 minutes per game. KD, and he's a veteran, right? Yeah. Fred VanVleet, 36 minutes. You have to come all the way to 9 to get the Jalen Brunson at 36.1, and then Julius Randle is 16th. So, no, right? I mean, it's right here.
I'm actually surprised to see KD up there with, you know, the past Achilles injuries and things like that. And look, boom, KD right there, top 5. So
and he's what, 36?
So, yeah.
You know, I don't look. I just think it's somebody. It's a talking point for people. It's just the people that don't like Tibbs. I think that's what they lead with, but I can understand that if the numbers were factual. But as you can see here, Brunson is number 9 in the NBA at 36 minutes per game, and he's in great shape. And look, Knicks don't have anyone in the top 5. You got to go all the way to 9 to get to it. So, no.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like you said, these players are in great shape, and that's something that Thibodeau demands of his players, right? Every training camp, every preseason, he wants his guys to be working out, getting in great shape, because, you know, the season is a marathon. And I think it's been proven already statistically that Thibodeau teams actually play better in the second half of the season. they get stronger.
Yeah.
So, that's a formula that works, and it has been working for us. We just hit a rash of freak injuries, unfortunately.
Yes, we did. Appreciate every single one of you guys in here. Smash the thumbs up button. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Come join us here in the chat, just chopping up about the New York Knicks, talking about the victory and the Brunson injury and just everything. Every week we do this at 9:30 p.m. live streaming here on YouTube. Then we post it to Apple and Spotify. If you guys want to check us out on the audio side, that would be appreciated. Evan says with Julius and OG back, it's a solid 4 seed. Michael says looks like we sweep the Cavs and wins. Yeah, the Cavs, we just match up so well with them, especially when Mitchell Robinson is back. We just match up so well with them. That's why I'm not worried about them. They had such a great schedule in February. That's why they're the number 2 seed right now. So
yeah,
but yeah,
they dropped down to 3rd seed actually after
okay.
this loss. But yeah, man, this Cavs team was rolling. Like you said, they were coming back down to earth a little bit, but for whatever reason, we match up well. Whether we have Brunson, OG, Julius, it didn't matter. We still got that dub.
S550 says I watched the blowout game against the Nuggets a couple of days ago for good memories of what we had. Yeah, man. That was a great month, man. Blowout win against the Nuggets. That was awesome. Then the Heat game. That Heat game was really special, And then look, we'll get back to it though. We will. Don't worry.
It's funny you mentioned that Nuggets game because I actually watched that same game back 2 days ago, courtside in VR, and it was amazing.
Oh, really? That's dope. That's what's up.
That was dope. Like
dope.
if you guys have a VR headset, try to check it out. It's some app called X Stadium, and you can actually watch some Knicks games on there courtside.
Right next to
It's
Spike.
amazing.
See Spike on your left. Turn your head. You see Spike.
You can see Tibbs, man, right there. It's like 2 feet away from you.
John says injuries all bad luck. Yeah, they are. It's bad luck. And we've been, fortunate last season. Randall played on the way to play every game, and then he got hurt later on in the season. Hartenstein played all 82 last game. Who else? Quickly got hurt in the playoffs.
Yep.
Barrett was dealing with a knee thing. Brunson even wasn't healthy with the ankle last season.
That's right.
And it's just this season, it's just, guys. The thing is, guys went out at the same time. When you lose Randall, when you lose players of like Randall and Anunoby at the same time, like Josh Hart said it the other day. He said, look, we're just waiting for the guys to get back. Guys are playing heavy minutes, but when you lose 2 important pieces like that, it's tough to overcome. And, shout out to the dudes. Shout out to the guys, man. They're overcoming it. They're playing their ass off. Tonight was such a gutsy win. One of the best wins of the season, in Cleveland, on ESPN. Just a great win, man. Just a great all-around win. Michael says at first, yes, because I think especially last season, I feel that he should have played his bench more, but this season he's gotten better. He's talking about Tom Thibodeau. Yeah, that's why when we acquired Bogdanović and Burks, that's why we wanted those guys from Detroit to lessen the load off the starters. When everyone is healthy, Burks can come in, give you a little bit of offensive punch. Bogdanović can come in and give you a little offensive burns. Alec Burks is struggling right now. Yes, he is struggling. He's not really Knicks fans aren't too thrilled with him right now, to say the least. Mr. Burks. But yeah, that's why we brought those guys in there to get a bench punch. And I still do think when everyone is healthy, you're going to see. You saw it tonight. Bogdanović hit some big shots. You're going to see that. You're going to see that. Burks could be outplayed by McBride.
I think Burks is gonna come around too, man. I really do. I have a hard time believing that Burks was brought in here to be the second ball handler. I don't think that was the plan. And like Josh Hart said, you're missing 2 key guys, 3 key guys. Guys are in and out of different lineups. It's difficult. It's difficult. They're all trying to get a feel for how to play with Bogey. How to play with Burks to an extent. Those are all factors, man. And then you have, Brunson in and out of the lineup as well, and you saw it tonight against the Cavs. There were some moments where, some of these guys were playing together and it looked really bad and we couldn't get, offense going. And then they figured it out down the stretch of this game. Took it to Cleveland, and I think that's one of the biggest positives coming out of this game, right? That it seems like these guys are figuring it out. Without Julius, without OG, without Mitch out there, it looks like, as far as Bogdanovich goes, it looks like he's starting to settle in and kind of figure out what his role is.
Yeah. Defense for Bogdanovich, you can tell right when he's in, there's teams attack, like they try to attack him. Not really, that's his strong suit. He's not really, a great defender. But look, when we acquired Bogdanovich, the lineups I was picturing was with OG Anunoby. They're going to surround him with good defensive players, It's just that, with everyone out, it's tough to, equate. It's tough to match Anunoby with, sometimes he's playing with Jericho Sims. That's not a slight at Sims. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just, when everyone's healthy, that's when you'll see, hopefully, a great bench lineup. Hopefully that will get those guys going. Anunoby kind of creating a little bit before he got hurt. He was really starting to get comfortable in his offensive game. So, like I said, you see Anunoby creating a little bit, top of the key. Then you see Bogdanovich parked in one corner, DiVincenzo parked in the other corner. You got to respect Anunoby because he can get to the rim. He's such like a big dude. I mean, he's like, what, 250 coming at you, 6'8", 250. And then, that's what I like. That's what I would love to see, and we're going to see that.
Yeah.
So
that's what I can't wait to see, this Knicks team healthy. Again, broken record, but I want to see these guys healthy, man. Because, look, January was amazing, and then you add Bogdanovich, you add Burks to that, with all that spacing these other guys can provide. I just think we're going to look like an entirely different team for the better.
Evan says Thibs is working with what he has. LV, what's going on in the chat? Appreciate you always, LV, supporting. Hope all is well, brother. John says all Knicks fans know we play with Hart when the playoffs come. Game on. Love that, John, man. Can't wait, man. Last season in the playoffs was such a exhilarating time for us Knicks fans, man. And I just think, like you said, when playoffs come, it's game on. We're going to talk about Boston in a little bit, about that Celtics Warriors score. Go around the NBA in a little bit. But yeah. Donovan says Brunson needs rest. Yeah. Last few games, you can see that it's been wearing on him. Teams were trapping him. And look, he was still dropping, 27, 28, over 30 points a game, and his assist numbers were up. He was still distributing the ball. That's why I love about Brunson. Teams are trapping him. He's still distributing the ball. He's still finding players in their spots. He's, doing great things other than scoring, and he is scoring at the same time. In double teams, triple teams sometimes. Go back to that Laker game. They double teamed them like 30+ times in that game. So, yeah.
That was a frustrating game. You just reminded me about that.
That was
but
crazy.
no, I mean, look, those are all new looks for Jalen Brunson. He's never been in a position where, he's the sole point of attack for the defenses.
Yeah.
They're double teaming him, triple teaming him. And we saw it at first with that Laker game, like you mentioned, things he hasn't seen before. And then the league took notice and started doing the same thing, So with all that said, JB is just dropping points left and right, doing what he can, doing what he can to keep this team competitive. And he mentioned it during the All-Star break and after the All-Star break that he was like, man, All-Star break was great, but it was a lot. It was a lot for him to do, lots of interviews. Yeah. He didn't really get to rest much. So, it's awesome that JB's an all-star, but, man, you kind of wish he took the break off, just to get some of that rest because, the workload he has on his shoulders is insane without OG and Julius out there.
Yeah, man. The guys in there come to play, win or lose. That locker room right now, man, they're probably – look, man, that's one thing about this current Knicks team. I even saw OG Anunoby kind of like motivating the guys there on the bench. Haven't seen OG Anunoby on the bench since that Laker game. So they're traveling. It's good to see. Look, everyone is the chemistry. Like we've been talking about how strong the Knicks chemistry is. Next man up mentality. Brunson goes down. McBride comes in. does what Deuce McBride does, even cross the heck out of Evan Mobley in this game.
Drop
on the
them on
floor, bro.
Yep, dropped them with the in and out move. Shout out to Miles McBride, man. Great game tonight.
Yeah, McBride. Look, everyone plays their part. Everyone plays their role, and that's why I love this Knicks team. That's why 50 says if you had to put money on it, Celtics versus Heat in the first round, assuming Heat make the play-in at the 8th spot. That I'll tell you this right now. Boston, look, they're the best team in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
They're the best team in the NBA. But, like S550 said, they don't want to play Miami. They don't want to. I hope, oh my goodness, I hope Boston gets matched up with Miami in the first round. That's what we need. We need something like that. We need Miami to drop down a little bit, match up against Boston. But yeah, that's what I hope.
I put it this way, though. I mean, regular season is the regular season. And just like we're saying with the Knicks, hey, we're not worried about seeding. Let's get healthy. Let's get to the postseason and see what happens. Exactly for that. Because once you get into the playoffs, man, it's a clean slate. You don't know what's going to happen. So anybody has a chance. So Celtics might be the best right now. But like you said, if they run into the Heat, which it seems like they always seem to have trouble with, who knows? Who knows what can happen after that?
Look, Boston is 48-12. They are 8.5 games up against the Milwaukee Bucks. So essentially, they could wrap up the 1 seed in like 2 weeks, which is kind of crazy. They've won 11 straight games. They're 10-0 in their last 10. They're the cream of the top in the Eastern Conference. They just beat the Warriors by what? 140 to 88? Jesus. Yeah, 140 to 88. But hey, I said it when they beat us last Saturday. I said, fully healthy Knicks team, I'm telling you, you can come back and plead your case. But I'm telling you, the Knicks can give Boston a run for their money. Not saying they will win that series, but I'll give us like a 45 to 50% chance on winning that series. I mean, but they're the best team in the East right now. And all we have to do is worry about what we need to worry about. Make it in the top 6, pull us up. 59% of you say the Knicks will finish 4th through 6th in the East. 31% of you say it's 1 through 3. 9% of you think the Knicks will finish in the play-in tournament. 74 votes. All we have to do is worry about what we can worry about, and then worry about Boston if we play them in the playoffs, But like they said in the chat, like S550 said, let them match up against the Heat. They're not going to like that. So.
Yeah, for sure. And look, the Celtics, they're rolling, man. Like you said, 11 straight games, and they beat Golden. They I don't even know the word to say for this box score, 140 to 88. All I say is I wish Golden State shot 7 of 41 from 3 against us.
Right. Donovan says Burks is the odd man out. Look, if McBride, we saw it tonight. McBride, he's gonna play. His improvement over this whole season, his improvement, his 3-point shot, his defense has always been there. We've seen improvement out of McBride, and he's playing better than Alec Burks, and we're seeing it in the minutes. McBride is right now, he has more trust over Tom Thibodeau, and for good reason, right? I mean, Burks is just struggling, and it is what it is.
Yeah, and then with the minutes, I mean, it's not even close. Miles McBride played 47 minutes. 47 minutes to Burks' 11. So Tibbs sees it too. Tibbs sees that, Burks is struggling.
Yeah.
So McBride currently has, look, I like the way McBride has been playing, man. And if you're going to tell me I got to choose between McBride and Burks, it's going to be McBride, man. He's
of course
on both ends of the court. He's playing well defensively, and his offense is coming around as well.
Of course. All right, so quick recap. Knicks, great win against the Cleveland Cavaliers. We got a home stretch coming up. Anunoby is looking like he's getting close. Brunson looked like we dodged a bullet with that one. Randall was getting close. It's looking like Mitchell Robinson is a little bit after that. And then we should start getting rolling. Looking like the games, maybe the 2 games at home versus Philly will get Anunoby back. West Coast trip, maybe we'll get Randall back. But the guys are starting to get close. We're right there at the 10, the 5-yard line. They are starting to get close. Big win tonight versus Cleveland. And look, just got to keep winning these games because the East is, like right now, it is bunched up together. And we just got to keep on winning these games and keep on taking care of business and whatnot. But all right, Chris, let's go around the NBA. So 40K for LeBron. When did he hit that? Last game?
Yep, hit that the last game. Think he needed 9 points to hit it.
Yeah.
And he got it, man. Think he got it on a spin move layup in the paint. So shout out to LeBron, man. I mean, that's history. That's NBA history. You know, first in the NBA to hit that mark.
Yeah, shout out to LeBron, man. I don't think anyone would match that, man. 40K, congrats to LeBron. First player in NBA history to hit that. He's the first player in, like, NBA, the youngest player to hit 1,000. Like, he's on a whole another level. I don't think anyone hits that.
You don't think anybody upcoming hits that? Nobody.
No.
I still think Anthony Edwards has a chance, man.
I thought about it. I don't. I don't. Evan says, good night, fellas. Great show. Appreciate you, Evan. John says Precious is staying close to Brunson in the paint. Boogeyman spotting up to behind him to help with the double teams. Yeah. That's the thing with Hartenstein and Precious. That, like, during the losing streak, they were kind of clogging up the paint. Tonight, it looked way, way better. So,
yeah.
S550 says the Heat can definitely take out the Celtics. Yeah, they can. Jay, what's going on in the chat? We back. We back up, man. It's a big win. So, Pistons game, Chris. Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes come back to Madison Square Garden. Grimes balling out in the fourth quarter. Fournier actually hit a couple of big shots in that fourth quarter. Knicks got the benefit of the whistle. That was kind of the makeup call in Houston. The protest they denied it. So that's it. They denied it. Yeah. They said.
Right after that game, too. They were like, nah, you guys got that back. All right, we're good now.
They said, here's your gift, the Detroit Pistons game. And Detroit, I don't even think bothered protesting that game. But Evan Fournier gets booed by the New York Knicks fans. And, you know, after the game, Quentin Grimes was like, that's Knicks fans for you. Evan Fournier was a professional his whole time here. Don't understand why he got booed. Honestly, dope. Why do you think Fournier got booed?
I honestly, look, I think Evan Fournier is a professional, you know, obviously in that locker room. And we heard some of this, if you guys listen to the Brunson and Hart podcast, they spoke on Evan Fournier a bit. And they were like, that dude was always professional. He was always in practice, always, you know, doing what he had to do. A pro's pro, right? But let's not pretend that Evan Fournier didn't go all the way to France and start bad-mouthing the Knicks left and right, taking shots, you know, trying to force the Knicks' hand to trade him, saying, I'm being held hostage, all these things, right? Yeah. So while he was a pro's pro, and look, clearly he had an impact on Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and others in that locker room with his professionalism. But the Knicks fans were booing him because of those reasons, man. Like, one, when he did get a chance to go out there, he didn't do anything for us. And then two, you trashed the Knicks team halfway across, you know, the country. So what did he expect?
I think that's what triggered Knicks fans, and that's why they booed him. Because I forgot what he said exactly, but he wasn't too thrilled about the whole Knicks situation. But at the end of the day, the Knicks gave you this heck of a contract, and Grimes came in and outplayed you. It is what it is. You sat on the bench. Were you a professional at times? Yeah, but for Grimes to say that's Knicks fans for you, like, look, we don't boo somebody unless we feel slighted by them. Like, look, are there like fans that will boo anybody? Yeah, but that's not, you know, me who's just gonna boo. Like, I wouldn't have booed Fournier, but that's why I think he did get booed, because he went to France, he talked all that crap, and Knicks fans were like, look, and maybe they're booing him for the contract. I don't know, but yeah, I think I agree with you on the. Michael says because of the statements he made about the trade situation.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
part of it too. But I just think Grimes in a sense is a little kind of like tone deaf. Like I'm
Yeah.
sure he knew the situation. I'm sure he knew what what Evan Fournier said. So I'm kind of surprised Grimes would take that stance. Maybe it's just a little bit out of context, but I'm actually surprised Grimes came out that way.
I'm not, because Quentin Grimes looked like he was pissed off all game long that the Knicks traded him. And after that game, a lot of Knicks fans were saying we should have kept Grimes and and whatnot. But he looked like he was pissed off and he wanted to win that game. But look, so that's why I think Grimes was pissed.
He definitely came close to winning that game for Detroit. For Detroit, so I'm not even gonna say anything.
Yeah, that was that was a big win for the Knicks. Anything else around the NBA, Chris, you wanted to touch on? What's going on in the league? What do we got tonight? What are the scores tonight?
That Celtics game, man, winning by 50 was insane, man.
Philly won tonight. Orlando beat Detroit. So it's looking like all the teams that are bunched up in the East are winning. Orlando beat Detroit. Toronto's starting to knock on the door for that play-in. Indiana lost to the Spurs. So that's huge news. That's big. But yeah, we got to just look one game at a time. Next game is at Atlanta versus Atlanta at home for the New York Knicks. Yeah, man. Guys are starting to come back. Anunoby, Randall, Brunson. Got some good Brunson news and whatnot. Chris, and all of you guys in the channel, a couple of channel announcements. I want to thank our members. So far, we only have one member, S550. Appreciate you supporting the channel. But if you guys want to support, you can do so by becoming a member for as low as $2.99 a month. It helps us support the channel, helps us do what we love. Really appreciate you if you guys were to do that. Or you can just, keep on doing what you're doing and just being in here and supporting and listening to us chop it up about the New York Knicks. And these past couple of months on the audio side, we've hit, our all-time high records on the audio side on Apple, Spotify. So if you guys can do that, you guys can just type in Knicks Nation Podcast. You'll see Chris and I's face on the Apple and Spotify, and then just follow the episode. And these last couple of months have been great for us. We're really growing as a channel, and that's due to you guys, man. We always appreciate Knicks fans in here, and yeah, just keep on supporting, man. Can't do it without you guys, man.
Appreciate you all, man. We do these for you guys, and this is our passion, man. We love the Knicks. We obviously want to share any Knicks news, and we're in this together with you guys. So really appreciate everybody out there supporting us, and nothing but love.
Likewise, John said, I'm glad Brunson is okay and should be back the next game. Hopefully, knee bruise is what they're calling it. We shall see. Next game. MRI results tonight, maybe tomorrow. But yes, John, always appreciate you in here supporting. S550 says, happy to support my favorite Knicks stream and channel. Love that, S550. Love that as well. All right, Chris, let's wrap it up, man. This was fun. Another episode in the books,
good, man. I feel a lot better than I did when we started this pod, man.
I do. I really do too. This has been fun. Episode 38 in the books. We'll be back doing this every single Sunday. Appreciate every single one of you. As always, it is Let's Go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks. Week.
I'm Anthony. That is Chris.
I'm Chris.
We'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Peace.